Oh, summer feeling here. We've been told all sorts of different times, but it's officially summer. We're running with it, right, Eric?
Absolutely.
We are here with Eric Robison, the managing broker with Eastlake Windermere Real Estate, with 20 years in advertising that's really helped him become a unique residential real estate specialist in the Seattle metro market. And you also come from kind of an educational background when it comes to real estate.
Yes, I would say so. I actually teach first-time buyers class twice a month.
Oh, nice. Nice. Well, welcome to the show for the first time.
Thank you.
How you doing today? Are you excited for summer?
Yeah, I was out in it earlier today with the sun.
Yeah?
Had an inspection on a house earlier.
Yeah?
Actually.
You got a little suntan going? Not yet? Getting there?
I'm always a little red in the face.
Well, Eric, it's great to have you. And, we talked about the importance of picking the right people to work with at the beginning of the show. I thought we'd kind of continue on that path. How do you recommend people pick the right agent? I mean, the interview process and what they should be going through.
Well, first of all, I think they absolutely do want to interview more than one agent because you'll get a feel right there of how different people work. In my class, I tell everybody, there's a lot of things you could be asking. First of all, whatever questions you find important, of course, ask those. But I would always ask, how many years have they been in the business? How many transactions a year are they working on? Gives you a good idea if, they're actually in the field. Are they a full-time agent or a part-time agent? A full-time agent, their foot's in that door. They're living and breathing it. Other things you want to know.
And nothing really does replace experience and being able to have seen things gone through the ups and downs of a transaction.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you haven't been in the business a while, you're going to be thrown a few curveballs. Whereas now, if you've been in it a while, the curveball comes, you know how to catch it. So it's not a problem at all. Detailed oriented is another important thing because it's not just looking at a pretty house. It's like seeing the details in the house, following through the whole transaction on the contract. There's a lot of things that we have to watch out for our clients.
So some of those big questions then, they're kind of based on experience, years in the business. What about teams? I know that, a lot of people have teams and there's a lot of great reasons for it. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on if people should work with teams or not?
Again, it's a personal choice. It's a preference, but you need to ask them how the team works. If you're working with a full service agent and they're working by themselves, they're working with you 100%. If they say they have assistants, but they're licensed real estate agents and they're showing the houses after you've met with the realtor you thought you were working with, good chance is that assistant agent out showing you might be the actual one that's going to be negotiating on your behalf. So you need to ask those kind of questions up front so you know exactly how you're going to approach this and how you're working.
Isn't the team approach, I guess there are those positives and negatives because, the positives, I guess, if you have a team, you probably have more experience, right? You're seeing more deals if you're feeding the whole family. And then on the flip side, I guess it depends on who you want to work with and what. I guess it comes down to accessibility and communication of an individual versus having support.
It's all about who you want. You have to remember when you're interviewing your agents and the teams or whoever, you are the boss. And you should never forget that. We're working for you. So you want to find out who you're working with and their accessibility. Is this an agent that the night you're negotiating that contract and you're thinking a few things over, it's 10 o'clock at night, you're stressing out, you need to have a conversation? That's the time when your agent should be available. So you can have a good night's sleep and go in the next day and we make an offer. Whereas, there's some agents that just won't work that way. And that's a question to ask them. It's like, what's your schedule going to be like? Are you going to work on my hours or your hours? And
especially with first-time home buyers, because that is where that stress level can be much more anxiety.
Yeah. Well, it can be anxiety for everybody. But yes, first-time buyers, they do get very stressed out at various stages through the process. But our job is to calm them down and to educate them. And that's, if you are a first-time buyer, I would definitely ask them right up front, do you work with first-time buyers regularly or not? Because we have to take a lot more time with the first-time buyer. We have to explain everything, and it might be more than once, and, we should be fine with that.
Do you think that the availability is that a big aspect, especially to everybody, not just first-time home buyers? What should people's expectations be?
Well, believe it or not, realtors do have a life. And we do try to fit it
Well, we
around.
knew for the last 3 years you guys did, right?
Yeah.
I think it's all been taken back.
Yeah, we do work a lot of hours. But around availability, too, I would ask them how many clients they are currently on their, their client list. If they're already juggling 5 buyers and you're coming in, how are they going to fit you in that schedule? Or, it's a juggle for us. It's, because at the beginning of the buying process, we're going to spend a lot more time with you as we introduce you to the market, show you all the inventory, and educate you as to what's out there for your price point. So you want to know about how many people they're working with currently.
Do you think that when it comes down to how many people there are, is there a level of maybe asking the other people how the service has been? Do you recommend getting references or? Well,
if you ask anybody for personal references, they're always going to hand out LinkedIn. There's a lot of ways out there now people can find information about us. Another way is look at their personal website. See, are they showing that they've actually been doing a lot of transactions?
And I think the personal website is such a key point. And, we've talked about that on the show because that kind of is a professional's window into their business. Well, and a lot of people don't. Yeah, well, and some people I know in the real estate industry, also in the mortgage industry, in a lot of industries, they don't have their picture updated. It can look really bad. And I always want to question, well, if they're not taking the time to update essentially their storefront online, how much do they care about, what goes on behind the storefront?
That's a good question to throw at them.
Yeah.
See what they say.
Be like, check out my website. It's awesome. What about when you start thinking about price? Because it's a big part of, buying a house and there are discount brokers out there who work for, for less money than maybe standard. How do you recommend people go about that?
You can have full service or you can have discounts. So you're going to have to get acquainted with a number of people. Sure, you might get a little bit of money back, but I always say to my clients, it's a big purchase you're making. It's a major purchase. So you want to make sure whoever you are working with is going to be there representing you to the fullest.
We're here with Eric Robison, managing broker with Eastlake Windermere. Eric, we just have a couple minutes left. When you're working with one person too, and you don't go the discount route, because I'm coming from the mortgage industry, we see people who go online and they say, "Oh, well, I found the greatest rate and price ever," and then they can't figure out why they're having such a hard time to get anybody to call them back. It's got to be pretty similar in your industry, right?
Yes, I would say yes. You want a good communication. If you're working with someone and you're leaving messages and you're not hearing back from your agent within, an hour or so, I would be questioning are they working with me? We can be really busy now on the road, but with other clients, but we can also see messages coming in. We can check a message while someone's looking and viewing a house. And if it's important to get back, at least let them know what we're doing. So they know that we haven't forgotten them.
As long as you're using your hands free in the car too, of course.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I have my Bluetooth all hooked up.
There you go. So really it comes down to that right fit, because as you said, there's this level of service that if people want, they can find, but right. There's a cost to it. And I think on the flip side, if people want accessibility and whatnot, you have to figure out who the right person for you is to work with.
Bottom line, you want to feel like, I always tell people that you want to make sure your team is the best.
Because I would have said no, my mind said yes, and now
you regret.
Now I regret it every minute, and I hope he's listening. Eric, thanks so much for joining us. Stick around for